I see only three people: Spandan, Ronak, and some other person. So I'll just share my screens so that you can have a look at it. Just wait for a second. My Chrome has freezed. I'll just be back. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So right now we are here on the Miro board, and we have jotted down some points on the brainstorming. And what we'll do is, now what we have to do is we have to prioritize them based on whatever what solutions you think that should come, that are immediately required to the user, or maybe at higher level, and what are the solutions that are not required immediately. So priority one. This is one method of doing card sorting. Like this is the group priority that you are assigning. Also, you can do a sequential priorities. Like you can assign 1, 2, 3, 4 to these cards. Like if you want them to be in sequence, but we don't require that because we have collectively like thought of a group kind of solution. So that's why we are putting in the priority 1, 2, and 3. So just analyze these things. So let's have a look at what is the solution that we have thought on is the immediately required thing. Yes.
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat the question?
I'm saying that amongst all the data points that we have accumulated on the brainstorming, so now we have to assign the priority, like what is immediately required, what is the most important thing which is required by the user, and what can come at later point. What are the solutions that are immediately required and it can be implemented, and what are the later things that can be implemented. So according to that, we have to give priority 1, 2, and 3. So
First priority will go to the planning stage. Means
uh,
the step in which we consider that what needs to be done. Means suppose the person is going to the market, then we will have to think that card will be considered the first one, I think.
Yeah. So where that card is there any card which say that this is well planned? I guess, right? So you can just put it like don't just paste it, just copy paste it so that you are aware that what you have like thought on and how you have prioritized it. So this can be one thing. Person buys grocery. This can be one. Let's first sort this based on the priorities, what we think, and we can discuss on it. Okay, like is it something that should come immediately or not? Right? Can we do that?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So whatever you think, you can just place it on the priority list, priority 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can go up to like four, and going up to third or fourth priority is more than enough. You will not require more than that. So you have to just think of it. What is the immediate thing that is required? Like this, and this option can come linking of smartphone to smart, like small normal phone to smartphone present in family members. We can ask about physical attributes of our family members. So now this I don't think that that comes in the immediate priority, because like there are other important things as well before which comes before it, so it can go to priority too, right? Similarly, uh, like similarly, doing other thing, going digital can come to priority one, because maybe Malti is not accessing the phone, like a smartphone, or maybe she is learning or something. So we can make something in a digital, like for a digital use. We can educate the person on amount of macronutrients that is required for an average person, so that they can make smarter food decisions. This is a very good point. So, what do you think? What no, where it should go? It should go on priority one or priority two? What do you think? For the time being, I'm putting in priority one. Let's see what.
So it can go to the priority two, because first we will have to plan out, then only we can take the steps.
Okay, let's put in priority two. Done. Seven of these. One, two, three, four, five, six. There's one more. Which one is it? We can provide. We can make charts and graphs of the prices. Okay. Well planned. Going digital is done. Well planned is digital. Person wise, we can provide travel services. Okay. Travel services. Travel services maybe may come to priority three, because that is not our target. Like we are not trying to like introduce a very newer like transportation method, right? Because the scope of application of this project will be areas where like the commuting or maybe the home deliveries are, or the travel things are not so popular. So maybe it can go to priority three, but that is subject to like discussion. We can have a discussion on it. Like first, uh, let's sort it based on the things. Now we have done this part. Let's come to this part. We can provide contents of our app in local language. So what do you think? Where should it go? One, two, or three?
So second one, because it's a secondary thing.
Yeah, because this this follows on the more toward the aesthetic part, or like but like priority two is good to like place it. This we can make the app less cluttered. This the later point of time, like we have to consider this less, making it less cluttered, but we have to consider it later point of time. First we are thinking of the possible solution which help the user, right?
Yes, sir. So one more thing. In this
Okay.
case, suppose if we are considering like three priority levels, priority
Mhm.
one, two, and three. So can we consider even more? Means priority four and five if required, or
Yeah,
we will have to do the whole thing
up
in
to
three
four.
only.
Yeah, up to four you can consider, because after that you like most of the content will be placed till four. Like if you are dealing with very big data, then you can go with four or five, so that you make more precise decisions about what you are going to do. If you
Okay.
have lesser options, then like going up to three is more than sufficient. Like, see, we don't have so many nodes, so we can just put it in like we can arrange all of it in just three levels. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We
I
can.
also had a question. So I wanted to ask that the we have made three priorities. So all the features in priority are going to be done first, or we are going to put more effort in that priority one. How are we sorting them?
Like the priority of the solution means like we are going to put more emphasis on like including those things first in the application, like how we can implement that first in the application, and the things which are in priority 2 or priority 3, that can come at like let's say there are three levels of there are three levels of the screen that you are making, like home level, and then some screens inside those options and some screen inside those options, right? So priority one will like the options which are in priority one, the features or the functionalities that you have ideated in priority one, that can directly come onto homepage, and maybe the planning and the entering the details can come to like that can come inside that level, like inside that feature there can be option for like entering these details and planning things, right? This help like how does card sorting help you? The card sorting helps you in providing a good information architecture to your application, so that it becomes easy for you to ideate that what is the information that you need to put first, and what is the information that you need to put at a later, like in the screen flows which are inside.
Okay.
Getting my point?
Understood. Yes, yes.
Yeah. We can increase the size of fonts and icon to make it easily visible. Okay. This also comes into the priority 3. What else? We can do surveys online to take suggestions from others for more ideas in order to help these people. Okay. Well, what do you think? Like where it should go?
So third level.
No, it is more kind of a documentation thing, or help in documentation thing
Yes,
which
sir.
happens, right? So we are taking a feedback or something, so that will go like that. So 4 of it has been arranged, more of it is left. We can increase, we can make donations to collect money, provide more and better facilities in house or locality. So where it should go? What do you think? Where it should go?
So it should also go to the third option, I think.
Because the user whenever the user will use our app, so he or she will not look at making donations first. So donations are made with the people, donation are made from the people who are already in a good state, right? So considering what is the base of our usage, the usage of our app, so based on that we can put it in priority 3, right?
Yes, sir. That's what the point is. Means
Hmm.
taking help from the people who are already in a good
Yes,
condition. Then
that's
we can help the people who are in a less better condition.
Mhm. We can also ask for help from other house or similar scenario and ask them about this step towards such situations. So we can maybe introduce something as best practices, what people are doing, and things things they are doing to make things easy for them. So this can come as a very good feature. This can come as a very good functionality in our application. So where should we put this? Like on 1, 2, where? What do you think? Where should we?
This one will also, I think, go into the third priority level.
Okay. We can also ask help from people house a similar scenario and ask them about their step towards situation. Okay. So I placed it in third priority. Okay. Anything else that is left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can take help from more volunteers and NGOs in order to help more of the house members understand the situation and take steps according to their comforts. And we can make app less dependent on internet. So see, the dependency on internet is a tricky thing that you want to implement, because the nature of a app that we are developing will have the internet functionalities, because if we are like moving the user to the digital thing, so eventually we have to stick with the internet thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So maybe like let's put for the timing, let's put on the internet like in third part, and take the help of more volunteers and NGOs in order to help more of the house members to understand the situation and take steps according to their comforts. So I'm not sure it should go to second or third. What are your thoughts? Like, what are the reasons? Any reasons you can give anyone? Like, to put it in maybe to second or third. It should not go to, like, it will definitely not go to first.
So I think it will be the third thing, because after doing the entire process only then we can decide that whether NGOs and more volunteers are required or not.
Mm, okay, we can make that list dependent. Anything else that is left? Older service ordered. This also will go to this place only. So see, like, after you do card sorting, so so see, we are seeing that the type of solution that we actually required have we have got the less, like, we have got the lateral explorations, and from where we can get the information, right? Like, in terms of the suggestions and best practices, we have got many directions into that. But like, considering the actual solution in the way, we have not come up with so nicer solutions. So maybe, like, if you want, like, we cannot do it right now, but yeah, this is something that you can, like, after you do card sorting, so you'll get the idea that what are the category of solution that you have got from the research. And maybe if you need, like, if you need more quality solutions, then you can expand the brainstorming. You can do a brainstorming a little more, so that you could find more unique solutions or more efficient solutions, which need to be put in, like, in front of the user in different ways. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So card sorting is it clear? Card sorting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There's a simple technique, like, very very basic thing. So after card sorting, what we need to do is we have to write down the final functional brief of the application. Once we do the card sorting, then we go ahead and write the functional brief. And what a functional brief is. So in functional brief, you define what will be the functionalities, what will be the final functionalities of the application that you will present in the application. And based on that, you will be creating the task flow and the information architecture based on it. Right. So based on the card sorting and the things we have found out, can we write a functional brief easily? Yes, no?
Sir, functional brief. Can you explain the term one more time?
Yeah. So functional brief is like, are you know, like, do you know about, like, any brief which are given? Like, let's say you have started with a project, so you would get some brief. You need to accomplish something like this. You need to design this, and there are different things mentioned in that. It should have this much functionality. It should have this much functionality, and this should work on this principle, or maybe this something like that. Are you aware of that? Yes, no? Acha, no worries. Let's make it more simpler. So, any one of you has come across any briefs? Have you written any briefs where, like,
Yes, sir. It's like a short explanation of some particular scenario or case.
yeah.
That can be called as a functional brief.
Yes. So what does a brief like? There are so many types of briefs. There are like, right now we are talking about functional brief. There are like standard briefs. There are strategic briefs, and there are so many kinds of briefs. Like, and that depends on like different parameters. Like, how you, like, whenever you start with a project, whenever you start with exploring the problem space, you start writing the brief, that what area you are focusing on, what would be the nature of the project that you are going to have, right? So we have already discussed on that, and we have started the problem brief in the very starting. Yes, we want to explore the space of nutrition and all, fooding and nutrition in the rural areas, right? So that was the brief that we started. So that was a problem brief which we did. Now the functional brief will have key after we have ideated on solutions. So what will be the things which what will be things which will be there as a functionality of the final product, like whenever we are creating the final product, so what will be the functionality of it, what will be the functionalities that will be inside of that product on that prototype that we can present to the user, right? So functional brief gives you a clear idea. So whoever is going through your project, so suppose you are presenting it to someone, you are presenting your project to someone. So do you think that he will go through all the research that you have did? The research part that we did is so much. It start from here, and this is a very like this has been created from very basic data points, right? So do you think that he or she will go through this complete process of doing that?
Not the entire process.
Yeah,
So the
not
basically the functional brief will give him a more accurate and overall idea of the project.
yeah, because you are like actually like taking it from the research that you have did, the ideation that you have did, all the three phases like empathizing, defining, and ideating solutions. Whatever you have did whatever you did in these three phases, you will be writing your functional brief according to that, right? So let's
Yes, sir.
let's write a functional brief. You can it can have a just in form of simple text, not very fancy thing. You can just write it in a form of text. Like what is the functionality? Just have a look at well planned. Malti can do weekly apps. She can use any apps so that she can plan on weekly basis instead of visiting daily. She can visit 1 week. That too when market open and discount. This way her daily effort will be saved and cost will also be saved. Hmm. So the solution uh, should be able to show the um, things with cheaper prices and the comparison between the between when it is sold on generic shops versus on government ration shops. Right? This is one of the outcome that you have ideated from the solution. I am taking all the things that we have already discussed. I'm just writing in a simple language. Okay, what should be the functionality? Second is user should be able to plan the routine for the week, should be able to plan the routine of the week regarding the market going and preparing the and collecting the ingredient maybe, because we are not sure that what food will she will make. So we are only like we are only thinking in terms that what ingredients she can get easily, right? Because we are not sure ki what food will make. You can never say that. If we are staying at home, we can never say that what you are going to eat today, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe 3 days after that. It is based on what is available in your home, and then it is based on that. Like it will be created based on that, right? So you can maybe uh, what else? What else? Just have a look at it. What else we can have?
So kindly repeat the last thing, what you
Yeah,
said.
like the second point we that I written or anything, and the question you're asking. Yes.
No, sir, no question.
No, no, or like what you want me to repeat, like in the last point, this point, or like the question that I asked.
The question that you asked.
Yeah, so I'm saying that like apart from these two functional points, what are the other points that you are finding from this priority list that can come after that? Then that 2 points. User should be able to identify the nutritional contents in the things that they are buying. Some other things can be like some other things can be user can have suggestions based on the buying pattern in terms of the traditional.
So we can add one more thing, I think.
Yes, yes.
Means after that, we can say that the user should be able to understand the educational related things. Means like the proper directions which we are giving or the app we are showing to them. That should be understandable to them.
Hmm.
Or we can say the local language. We should prefer the local language or the local mode of communication so that they can understand the problem more clearly.
In the local language and the related information regarding best practices and what else you just said.
Uh, Regarding the best practices,
And
they should be able to means read and write properly. So
mm,
we can provide them with that means the basic educational things.
and
Sometimes that also becomes a barrier in some cases.
practices and basic
Educational
mm,
uh,
basic
qualification or
awareness,
what we say.
basic awareness
Yeah,
tutorials maybe
yeah,
in the hygiene and nutrition. Because like whenever we say that there can be many factors like nutrition can also the regarding the nutrition the more one more important exploration can be also the area of area where the people are living, right? So it can not just be because of the food that they are eating, but also of the hygienic condition that they're living in. Maybe they're eating very good food, they're able to afford everything, but they're not living in a good area or maybe hygienic area, clean area. So that can also lead to something, right?
yeah.
So there are many factors which are there. So we can put in front of the user as a form of information that yes, yeah, apart from the nutrition, apart from the food, you have to have a look at these things as well, so that you could maintain a healthy lifestyle and all for you. So This is what the functional brief we have written. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So you can improve the functional brief like a little more, like based on the things that you do. So till this point, everything is clear to everyone? Yes? No? Any doubts? Any?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So now we come to point. Now we come to the point of creating user flows and the information architecture for our application. Right, so this is the point where we'll be starting with the app design, like how the app flow will happen and how the information will be presented on the different screens of the application. Right, so I'll not be making this like user flow and information architecture here. So now we'll be starting with the Adobe XD, so that by making those things in Adobe XD, you will also learn uh, a little about that. So, like, how many of you like are already aware of Adobe XD, and some of you, or any prototyping tool? Like, can you just tell me a rough idea that I can have?
So I have tried my hands on Adobe XD and Figma to some extent. Not
Okay.
completely. I can't say that I am an expert in that, but
Mm-hmm.
I have used roughly those two softwares,
That's all right. That's all right.
means Adobe XD and Figma both.
Okay. And what about others?
Same here, sir.
Okay, so like all you people like have somewhat worked on a little, maybe little I can consider on Adobe XD or maybe Figma or any prototyping tools, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Or is there anyone who has never touched XD or Figma? Like, yes, is there anyone in the class? So I just want to have a rough idea. Oh, no worries. So we'll be starting our today we'll be starting with the XD. So we'll be doing most of the things in XD from now on. So we have already got the function. So whenever you open XD, you will find this welcome screen. So so here you can get different like let me just make it bigger for you. Is it visible? Yes. See, so whenever you open XD, so these are the screen size that you will find. You will find different screen sizes for uh, iPhone and iPhone different. Just a second. So here you will get different sizes of iPhone, Google Pixel, iPad, Surface Pro, Samsung Galaxy and Galaxy Tab 10. You will find the exact same sizes, and this all sizes are on the resolution of 7 dpi, because that is the generic pixel resolution of the screens which are presented on the screens. And after that, you will get some sizes of web.
Hey, hi Aditya. Good morning, Tarun here.
Yeah,
Aditya, what is the main difference of Figma and Adobe XD? In practical experience, what we cannot do to Figma or to Adobe XD, we know like we can interact.
Yeah, like, see, both are the same. Both are the tools which have the same functionality. Like it's not like it does provide a very like newer features. Just that due to functionality, Figma is popular due to the collaboration part. Like you can collaborate very well in Figma. Let's say you are working in a team or so, then you can have a very good collaboration with Figma.
Collaboration feature is not there in Adobe XD.
Collaboration feature is there in Adobe XD, but it is not that efficient.
Okay.
So the problem which you will face in Adobe XD collaboration is regarding the saving. Suppose that two or three people are working on the same file, right? You can work easily, but the problem is when you save it, and suppose that all three you have all three of you have progressed on some project. So what is the bad thing which is there? So when you save it, so whoever saves it first, like his instance will be saved on the server and the rest of it will be deleted.
This is in Figma.
No, there's an XD. In
Actually,
Figma, that is in real time. That is a good point. That's the selling point of Figma, how it is. Right. But Figma lacks on the interaction part. Like you can make good screens and you can make good static screens on Figma, but you can not make it so interactive because very fewer options are there.
yeah.
Like if you talk about like an auto animate, so you can do many things in Adobe XD and regarding the auto animate, but in Figma there is only one smart animate, and it is mostly kind of a linear animation that happens. Here you can have a combination of linear and different kind of animation techniques to create an interaction. You can also create a micro interaction in that. Keys and gamepad interaction is missing in Figma. You can use key and gamepad interaction in this. That is very easy to do.
Okay.
Voice user interfaces you will be able to make here. There you will not be able to make it.
Okay. And as a product manager, like let's say from interview point of view, if they ask like in which all cases you use Miro, Figma, and Adobe. So Adobe Figma, I think I'm clear at least. I can tell.
Mm.
What about Miro? I mean, where we should use extensively?
So Miro now has become a standard in the industry. So all of mostly every company is using Miro because of the the nice collaboration that it has. Like even though if it is not required by the designers, then also stakeholders are using it for just for dumping ideas, brainstorming, and all. So that now that has become industry standard. Earlier it was not like that. Now that FigJam has come, so mostly designers are using if designers are already using Figma, so they are not coming to Miro because they would need to like place the content in two different places, right? So what they do, they just create a extra FigJam board in the same Figma file that they are working on, and they can just quickly look up with the information that they have collected there. But that depends on perspective to perspective. Now, still FigJam is not that efficient right now. Also, it can be considered as a industry standard. They're just experimenting now. They're just releasing new features every month. You will see some update on FigJam, or maybe yeah. So that is how it is.
Recently, they have introduced a voice feature. You don't need to have a call in another software
Yes,
like Google
yes.
Meet. You can directly have a call in Figma only.
Yes, yes, yes. Recently they have launched it. So some good features are coming up. Let's see how it shapes up. Like if it is if Figma introduces very good animation features, then Adobe XD would it would be like a little tricky for Adobe XD to gain the market. So that is how it is shaping up. But still, Adobe has so many good USPs to be a competitor of Figma, even though the things are same. The one thing also you will face in Figma is the things that you will be able to do in XD in just one or two clicks that can require a multiple step in Figma, like especially in component states. Like whenever you are creating component states, so it is very hard to create component states in Figma because for every instance that you create, you have to create a new element for it. But that is not like that in XD.
Right.
So that is there. You can just create an element and add as many instances as possible. There is an option for auto connect also, auto interactivity also. So suppose that you need to create a toggle button. So you just create two instances. That's it, of the same element. You don't even need to provide the interactions. there are two or three like toggle and hover animation, toggle and hover interactions are there in Adobe XD, which are by default. Like if you can just select it and make the component. So interaction get added automatically to it. I'll be showing you once we enter on this. I'll show you.
Okay.
And so starting with that, these are the different screen sizes. If you want to create some promotional content, also there is a feature given, because I will say that Adobe XD is a very child version of Adobe Illustrator with the functionality of prototyping. Like all the Illustrator features are there, basic Illustrator features like shape and pen tool are there, which is required for you to create some screen. And the added benefit is that you are able to prototype between different screens, and through which you go, that is very easy. I'm not judging the Figma on this part. Just that,
Right.
for me, it's for me and for teaching purpose also, and for people I teach both. Like I teach Figma as well. I teach XD as well, but I prefer to teach in XD more, because people should not always be confined to just creating mockups. If you are creating static screens, you can do it in Photoshop and Illustrator as well. What's the point of using Figma or XD for that?
Actually,
Right?
one question.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
say if I are asked to create a quick prototype, so I
Yeah.
should prefer Adobe XD, right?
Yeah, you can go. You can definitely go. I'll show you some prototypes. So there's a one project that I'm working on. This project. So this is a design of a client side and admin side of a portal. So then that is an interior and architecture firm. So this project is going on. So for me, the things which are there, so many features are there, which makes very easy for me to just make it an XD, like copy pasting styles and all. Like those have very specific shortcuts which I already know, since I have used mostly I have used Adobe products. So that is also very simpler for me. For I can use Figma for this very easily, but the type of shortcuts which are there, like there are so many shortcuts, maybe I'll just forget it. And also that is not a universal shortcut there that they are using in Figma. They are like customized shortcuts. So for the thing which is working here might work in some other way in Figma. So that is also one point. So this is a project that so all of these things have been created with the help of in here in XD only. And all of this is an interactive route. I will just show you. This is a landing page. So if you create a screen and then you play it from here, so you get to you get to see this. Now everything is interactive. Like let's say you want to create a project, so you can just go into this. Like you can select different services. Then once you click, then it asks you to upload files and put values and all. Once you click next, then it asks you whether you have to submit it or not. Once done,
So it's like an interactive thing. So we
yeah.
can make the entire icons or the diagrams which have given, which we have provided, can be made interactive, so that if the people click on it, then they can get the next step.
Yes, this is possible, and this possible in this as well, like Figma as well. Like this interactivity is possible in Figma as well. I'll tell you so this is the thing that I shown you. So these things have been all designed in this. So I'll tell you one more project I'll show. Uh, just a second. It frequently happens when I screen share this. See, this is a product, and this is a product design that I'm working on for a startup, and this is a 3D visualization prototype, product design that I'm doing. So I'll show you some of the parts which I'm talking about. Um, I'm just sure this visible.
Yes.
So this is a B2B project product design that I'm working on. So see these small animations that you're seeing. Yeah, there's not so easily possible in Figma. You will have to create so many instances for that. And now if I show you in Adobe XD, you can just see that it is on the same one single screen within one single element within and everything is happening. If I just select it, you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see that. See, there's a component state and there is a hover state in this. Visible?
Right.
So hover state has been applied, and if and since the hover interaction is there, so in here also there is a hover interaction. So you can do it very easily. One more design I'll show you. The AR related prototyping that is very easily possible in Adobe XD. Like so this is a prototype which is there. So it resembles an AR prototype, which this is not possible and this is not possible in Figma. It does not give you option to to create a scroll like this, full screen scroll or like horizontal and vertical scroll. You will not be you'll be able to make scrolls in with the help of auto layouts in Figma, but you will not be able to achieve this thing. That's the point where XD and Figma are differentiated. Let's say I've clicked on this, so this came. Then I clicked on this came.
Today we have last class or we have one more?
We'll have one more class because we will not be if I can end the class today, but don't want it to end because
Yeah,
still there is so many things that I need to tell you.
correct. And one
So
more point which the reason why I asked today's last class or not, like I also want to see some code, how UI UX people will interact with front end and back end teams. Is
yeah,
that
yeah. So that I can show you this right now. Also, see, there's a share option. Like this is a share section of Adobe XD. So now that I've created the prototype, so there's a development link. So you can share whenever you are sharing this to developers, you can select the development, and if you have made the assets downloadable. So let's say in design you want this to be downloadable, this element, right? So what you will do, you will select this and will mark this as export, right? So when you will mark this as export and you go back to share, so now see, here one asset is added, downloadable assets. So if you click on this, update link, right? See what happens. You will get the CSS codes of all the interaction that you will that you have given that. So here I have not added so much of interaction because this was for one of my batches. But yeah, you can get it. Let just complete it. 89. So it gets processed and then you will be able to share that link. So this is how this is the link that has been created, and you just see you have to just share this link to the person or the developer to whomsoever you're making, and see what happens after this. So here the development part is there. So all the things which are there, see interactions are there. So interactions and all, you will be able to what are the interactions and what are the different things. Maybe since I am on this side, so I might not be able to see the code. but here the CSS code appears. So you can just copy paste it CSS code, or maybe if you don't want this way, you can also export this as a React code. There are so many plugins in XD which will help you in that.
So you are
Let's
saying
see.
it will convert, let's say CS will convert into React, something like that.
Yeah, up to a certain limit, not everything, but up to a certain limit, it will be a usable code. So let's say, so let's meanwhile I'll keep you explaining about the interface also. So so this is the toolbar. This is a toolbar with basic options of shapes, rectangle, circle, triangle, lines, pen tool, text, artboard. So suppose that you need to create. So initially we were starting at that point of time, and then we were selecting the size of artboard that we want to include in the project. So how we can do it and how we can do a new artboard. Either you can just copy paste it like this, Control C and Control V, or if you want a different size, then what you can do is you can just select any, deselect any artboard, click on this artboard, and here you will get the list of all the possible sizes that you want to like, open up in the as a new artboard. So let's say I'm going for iPhone 12 Pro Max. So once I click that, I'll get the exact size of iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I can design it according to the iOS standards and all. I can design it very easily. Right. So here and apart from that, this is the zoom tool. These are very basic tools. And now these three tools which you are seeing, this is the layers. And first is the library. So library contains, so library in the library you are only you should only concerned with the document assets. So in document assets, what you will get all the colors which are used in the document, all the all the fonts that are used in document and the components. So you have to define it. If you open a new document, this will not be there. So you have to define it. So we'll be looking at how to create style guides. So with the help of this only, we'll be creating universal style guides for our application, right? So once we create that, it becomes very easy. Suppose that there are four shapes that I've created. Okay, four shapes that I created. Let's say this was this color, okay, and I created some repetitions of it. Right. So now, if I want to change color of all of these things, so what will I do? I'll do it manually. Like I can go to fill, and then I can change the color, right? Every color I'll be changing manually, one shape by one shape, right? What else this style guide will help me do is, once it finds all the elements with the same color, you can just go to style guide, right click on it, edit, and you can change the color of everything just from here only. If you want it to be black, just make it black. As simple as that. This is the functionality, and same goes for characters as well. Suppose that you have randomly, let's say I'm creating a random character. So so if I want it to be in 14 poppins, I'll just click on it and I'll get it in 14 poppins, or maybe I'll get in 28 poppins or something like that. It is so easy. And the best thing is, let's say you want to change it. Let's say it was 28 poppins. So if I want to change it to Montserrat, you can do it. See, the font is changed and the text size also can be changed without even changing the text. And all the components that we will be creating, that will be lying inside it, and the audio. If you are using any audio in the application, like I'll show you one example of the voice interface that I teach to these people. Mm, 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 mm. It's not there. It's not there. It's not. Okay. This is that. So the voice user interface is how we can create it. We can just press and like say next, like say next to go to next again. So I'm pressing space and I'll say next. Next. See, it went to the next page. It took my voice commands and it went to the next page. So if I again press space and say back, it will go to back. Say back. Back. Maybe there's some interaction issue with that. So same way, like you go to prototype and you define, yeah, see, this is not been applied here. Voice trigger. Acha, previous is the command. Previous. See, this is the kind of voice interaction that you can do, and this has been created from the 3D layer. And keys and gamepad interaction, you'll be seeing keys and gamepad interaction. See, I'm just putting the pressing the keyboard up and down key. It is making the movements. So you can make prototypes of the games like this, like how you want to like create a keys and gamepad interaction. You can make it like how let's say you have to make a FPS shooter game, so you can just make a AR environment and put the character, and with the help of keyboards you can just shift it here and there. There are so many applications, right? Let's get back to a new file and close this. We'll be quickly creating the task flow and the information architecture before we go to the break at 11:30, and then after we come back, then we'll have a look on what are the UX laws, and we'll be doing the prototyping then, and then we'll be looking at how to create some interactions in Adobe XD, and also people workshop facilitators can tell if we want to since we want one more session to be placed, so how we are how we can plan it. Yes, anyone from the team?
So can you repeat your question?
I'm asking from the workshop team, I'm asking if there is someone.
For as an attendee, I think we are good, but from moderator, I don't know. I mean,
Because they need to plan the sessions accordingly, and that's it. Okay, let's continue this topic at the very end. That is totally okay. So I'm opening XD and I'll just copy the content from the Miro board. The functional brief that I've written, I'll just copy it and I'll create a new web-based screen. I'll just take it for the reference, and what I'll do, I'll use text tool and I'll just put it. There's a functional brief. And now we'll be starting the task flow. So let's create a task flow. So I'll just take an rectangle and we'll make it some color, random color. I'll use text and start. The best part of Adobe XD is you can make the padding of this as consistent. Like say you want to give a proper padding to it. So what you can do, you can just select it, group it by pressing Control G. So you can start you can, if you want, you can keep writing down the shortcuts as well. Whatever shortcut I'm telling you, you can keep writing it down. So after I group it, I create a shape and I group it. So this becomes like that. And here you will find our option for padding. Are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So once you click it, so now when the padding is enabled, so irrespective of what you write, see, it will be it will like adjust the layout accordingly. Let's say I'm talking like I'm saying that I want to create a login screen. It will change. It will keep the padding universal, which you have applied in initial point, and it will accordingly change the shape of the text. Also, if you want to make more text, it will be accordingly. It will keep on doing. So the best part is you need not to create a new or you cannot you should not need to uh, create the shape again or adjust the shape again according to the text. That is the benefit of the padding. And also I'll be telling about the stacks after this. So we start with the task flow. So what is the first screen that we'll come across? Yes, login screen will be,
In any
sorry.
case, if we consider any website, then we can say the landing page will be the first.
Uh, let's say we are trying to make an app, no? So
Okay, sir.
so yeah. So we are focusing on making application website guidelines. I'll tell you because website does not have so many things. It is a proper standard thing which you need to follow. Login.
So we can say that in case of website, the complexity is less. So
Hmm.
means it is easier as compared to application.
Yeah, that's there because because of the screen size, you have this big screen size, and when
Yeah,
you talk
we
about
can put more things in that.
yeah, so everything is visible on the same level. That's the best part of the website. That's
Yes.
there. And when you talk about the mobile screen, you have to be precise of all the information that you're going to present to the user, because what happens here is you need to present the very relevant information in a very nice way so that it becomes sensible. While you can play around with the information and the space in the website design.
Yeah, and also in case of an application, the information which we are going to provide
Hmm.
means from the user point of view, it should be relevant. Means
Yes.
very less space is there to provide the most important information.
Yeah,
Suppose the menu or anything else related to that, so we have to plan accordingly that you
yes.
can give.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No, okay, the space management is very critical in terms of mobile applications. So you need to be very sure of what you are going to put in the application and why how you are putting it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the user from user.
I think one very basic question when we start our prototyping.
Mhm.
So we should first select whether we are creating for website or iOS, Android, that
Yeah,
framework.
that you can find in the research only. Like I'm intentionally moving it moving all the things towards the mobile application. That is my take because we are going to discuss about the mobile application. But in the research, like you remember the touch points we have covered in customer
From
journey map.
research point of view, yes, I got it.
Uh,
But when we are designing Adobe, then is there any? I don't know Adobe how it works. We have to choose a framework for website, Android, iOS, some separately, or how is that? Any frame or template?
No, like for websites, it is not like that. Bootstrap usually works. Like you can customize the Bootstrap according to your use. Or now there are so many so many website creators are there, like which does not need you to go to even that level. Webflow is now Webflow is there. Elementor and WordPress is there. You will be able to create so many websites, very nice websites. So,
Okay.
things are there. Like you don't need to now go into that much deeper level. Yes, for the mobile screens, specifically for applications, mobile applications, there are set standards and guidelines because of the varied screen sizes. And talking about the web-based screen size, there are only three, four which are now being used, like seven, uh, which are now used, and but the variation of the screen sizes, like I'll tell you, there are more than 200 different kind of screen sizes in mobiles only. So so for that and to make a consistent thing to be present, so that becomes very important thing to make a standard key. Yes, there needs to be standard of the safe space in the mobile application design, which needs to be seen before we create anything for that. Because if we are saying that there are 200 more than 200 screens on in the world of just mobile screens, so we have to be sure that whatever content we are presenting, it should be adaptable to all the screen sizes, right? And it should be presented nicely also, right?
Right, right.
So that's that.
No, no, from Adobe XD side or from Figma side, my question was like that.
No, no, no. You like we'll be talking about the guidelines, like UI design guidelines of material and iOS. Uh, that we need to follow. Like for websites, what is done? So I'll tell you about this. See, so there is a grid system that is followed. So whenever you create, let's say you are creating a website. So I'll just take a website and we'll tell you. There's a website screen that I took. There's an iPhone screen that I took, and that is a iPad Pro screen that I took. Got it? There are three. These
Yes,
are the three main sizes which are counted into responsive design, right?
right.
So if I select all these three, and if I open the grid, once you select these artboards, here you will get the layout option, grid layout. So when you click this, see this grid is visible. So you can adjust it. There's a standard grid which is present for the different screens. For web, it is always 12 grids, 12 column grid. For mobile screen, it is always 4 column grid, and for tablet, it is always 8 column grid. And all the measurements which are taken in the grids are does follow the 4 point grid. 4 point grid as in like all the screens which are there in the world, so they are so all the screens which are there in the world, they have the pixel density, whatever pixel density and they have on all the pixel densities are in multiple of 4. Let's say there are 1,000 pixel in a screen, so that will be divisible by 4. Any screen size that you can take in like from any mobile or any point, that will be in a 4 point thing. So what is the use of 4 point grid? Whenever you create a design and it adjusts to a new screen, let's say you have made for iPhone 12 and now you are presenting it on uh, this thing. Let's say iPhone 11 you are presenting. So when the scaling down will happen, it will happen in 4 point manner. Like it will not come from, like let's say it will not come from 10 to 5. It will come from 10 to 6 or maybe 10 to 2. Like it will not even it will not be even 10 also. It will be already in 12 or 12, 16 or maybe 20, 24, 28, all in multiple of 4 and multiple of, right? So when it scales down or scales up, it will be like that only. Like if it is 30 and 32, so it will scale up in 36, 40, 44, 48, 52. 56, 60. This is how it will scale up. And when it scales down, it will come to 32 to 28, 24, 20, 16, 12, 8, 4. Minimum is 4, not less than that. So whenever you use this, so whenever you are using white spaces, like the spaces between elements, you always consider the 4-point grid. Let's say I'm making two squares on a mobile screen, let's say. So there's a 4-point grid that is followed, right? So let me just copy it. And then group it. So I'll see whether the space between this is 10 or is it isn't 12 or not, like 8 or 4-point grid or not. If it is not, then I would adjust the column size. Like I would adjust the column size by going here. There are 4 columns. Gutter width it should be 12. Okay, so see what has been done. So I have made the gutter width as 12. The gap which is there in the column, then that is called gutter. So now if you have a look, are you able to see the space now is 12? Yes?
All right.
So same thing will follow.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you're creating a new element, any UI element that you're creating. So right now, see, this is 43, right? But I will make for 1 more or 3 less. It is 44, 45, or maybe 40, now it is 44, then it's okay. Now if I have to like go down, so I'll go to like 17, it is. Now I'll go to 16. So this is how I place every element, whatever element I will place in the wireframes also, will place it like this only. Whatever you are creating, you have to put it in the 4-point grid.
If suppose our application need to run in both Android, iOS, and web, then for each platform we have to build separately, or we have to
Yeah,
one.
that is done accordingly. For let's say for how it happens in industry is, so we talk about adaptive layout, adaptive design, and responsive design. So most of the companies now have like shifted, like now are shifting to adaptive design. So are you aware of adaptive and responsive? What is the difference between that?
Yeah, adaptive is basically suppose if we are creating a particular thing, means
Yeah.
suppose a website, then it can adjust to different screen sizes. Means desktop or laptop or a smartphone. That
Okay.
website will automatically adapt itself to the different screen size. That is adaptive.
Uh, yes, and what is responsive? See, there are differences between adaptive and responsive. And anyone who knows on the responsive and adaptive. Yes, you have said whatever the definition you have said, that is for responsive.
Yes, I was also in doubt. So whatever Renuka told, that was for responsive.
That was responsive. Like any idea what is adaptive?
I don't have idea.
See what happens so when you will see the website of Apple, you will find that for each and every screen size, you might find a newer design. Just have a close look at it, like after the session, just give it a look. So like mostly you'll maybe you will not be able to see because like you will get mostly you have to search for very unique screen size which are very small or big. So
Yeah.
what happens in adaptive layout? So adaptive layout does not work like a responsive. Responsive was a very good concept, but it was hard to achieve. Hard to achieve as in, कि, like you have to keep on checking the things like by contracting and expanding what is working and what is not working, and then you have to make changes accordingly, right? That is efficient till now also, but what is the difference between adaptive? So adaptive is like designing for each and every screen size as a standard thing. Like let's say you are viewing something on iPhone 12, you are viewing something on iPhone 5s. So both the designs will be different. You might it might look like it is same, it might look like it is a responsive thing, but it's actually not. It has been designed separately for iPhone 12. It has been designed separately for iPhone 5s, so that like the scaling up and scaling down of this grid system is the most important thing behind that. So sometime you are working on a very creative. Let's say you have came up with very creative UI design, right? So if you have come up with very creative UI design, so what will happen then? Key might be if you are scaling it up or scaling it down, the idea of that whole design is disrupted. Possibility is there? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where adaptive layout comes. So it says that key I'll design for like, separately for both the screens, and I'll make coding in a way that it reflects like it identifies what your phone size is, what your screen size is, and then according to that it adjusts it. It adjusts to the nearest screen design which is there in the repository.
So it is something coder has to take care, or a designer need to do
So
something.
yeah. See, each thing needs to be like developed separately, and like in front end. So in front end, they will define different instances for all the screen sizes. Let's say for iPhone 12, they will define like front end engineer will take care of this. He is making the instances like he will work like a responsive thing only, like but he will make sure that the instances of every screen size is different. So whenever a user installs, let's say you have iPhone 5s and you have installed an application of let's say Uber, and Uber has a let's say Uber has an adaptive layout. So the front end engineer of Uber have already designed the design which you will see on the iPhone 5s. So as soon as you install it, it identifies what your mobile phone is, and according to that, it will deploy the screens which you will see on this on your phone.
So Adit, like designer then has to give different
Yes,
design for
yes.
different phones.
Designer then has to give different versions of it. Though it is not very complex thing, but yeah, it happens like that.
Okay. So, but I think in React they are saying like you can just create in React and it will for it applicable for both web and mobile.
In React everything is possible. Like how you were coding before, it is like just like that only. But that now React is so light key everyone is using that now. Earlier the app which was used to be like 60 MB or 50 MB, now that app has been reduced to 10 MB or more, maybe 7 MB.
So this is all related to coder. Like for designer, they don't have to worry. Just that front end people tell that okay, if you need a separate design for separate thing, then they need to provide. Correct.
Yes, and they need to provide. And once the design is coded by front end engineer, so they need to like the designer needs to verify that everything is according to the design that has been made. So it is always two way. It is never ki kaam khatam ho gaya. Now it's your task.
Okay.
So designer will always be in know because he knows what is like how it has been created, because uh, you see the design and you approve it, then it goes into the development. If it does not come up like that, then it's a waste of money, right? So designers are always in the loop, and he keeps on like verifying and auditing the screens after it comes from the development. And once that is done, then they give it to the front like backend engineers for the like everything.
So can we say that in case of adaptive website,
Mhm.
The overall thing is that the data changes itself according to the needs of the user or the requirement of the user. That's what happens.
Data. So actually, data will not change. Data will.
Means the things which are present in front of us, we can say the
The
website or
value,
whatever the
attribute
thing is
value.
given on it.
Attributes and values will change accordingly. Like front end attributes and values, specifically talking about front end attributes and values, that will change according to the definition that has been made by the front end engineer and the design that has been provided with the provided by the UI UX designer.
Yes, and the thing which I said that was for the responsive website, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I means I confused between the two. So I
That's
because
totally fine. More like you are not the only one. Like many people are confused between because it is almost like it looks like when you will have a look at it, it will look like it is almost same.
more or less the both things are a bit similar to each
Hmm.
other, but
Yes.
there are very minute differences between the two.
Yes. So in responsive, what happens? So you make things visible and invisible based on the screen sizes. Let's say you are contracting it, so maybe will change the orientation of, and you use containers for that, developing it, so that like you use containers for that, so that if something contracts, so then shift like a vertical shift, like vertical attributes get changes based on the CSS classes, right? that is
Yes,
that is all like that is how the change of values are done, right? But like in adaptive, it changes to it's verify what is screen size is it right now, and then it just displays the design which is according to that.
Adit, on same line, I have question like when we say adaptive and responsive, so it is a responsibility of UI UX guys to make that, or this is a collaboration with front end and designer.
See, like that should be a two-way responsibility. If people are ready to invest that much money, so they should definitely go with the adaptive one because of the varied screen sizes right now.
So
Like
adaptive is not any tool or technology, right? It's just a concept.
no, it is actually implemented. That is not only a concept; it is actually implemented. So ideally, people should go with the adaptive layout. It is not required in the case of websites. When you design websites or web portals, it is not actually required. That follows a responsive approach whenever you design a website or anything, right? But when you design an application and all, that mostly follows the adaptive layout because of the screen size.
So this is a tool or what? When we say adaptive, it's like tool or how do we implement?
see, have a look at you are able to see this screen, no?
Correct.
Let's say let me just bring some different screen sizes. So
Sorry, Adit, if I'm hijacking your class.
no worries. So let's take a varied screen sizes. Let's say I'm creating an application, the same application that I'm creating, but for different screen sizes. So let's say what I'm doing is I'm just iPhone 12 Pro Max and it's a Google Pix. Sorry, Samsung Galaxy S10, right? So now if you follow the adaptive layout, so this will be applicable here because these are the three screen sizes, right?
Yeah. So
So
I have to
major,
design. Yeah. So I have to design three different
yeah.
designs.
So you will define the column grid layout according to the 4-point grid, right? And then you will start designing it.
So design for all three. Then I have to design all three
Hmm. Like
screens.
it will be a very minute thing. You will not even like people will not even notice it
Okay.
since that you are designing it. So you will know I have designed three versions of it.
Okay.
But
So let's say if I have to put some text drop down menu and one or two button. So same
let's
number
say
of elements should go in every screen.
let's say I am creating I'll just create it.
Okay. I got it now. Yes, got it.
Hmm.
But we should who should tell like what was like what the size and all should be there for different screen. UX
So that is taken from the like market survey. What kind of devices people are using? What are the most common devices people are using? And then decision is taken. Ki, yes, I need to design for this. I need to design for this. And then according to that.
Okay, and in some website we have seen like in application it is there like some functionalities are not available in mobile or iOS, or that is one, or some buttons are changed in some placeholder. So
Hmm.
that is a part of responsive adapting, or that is also a different way of
That
design.
will not be a part of responsive. That will be adaptive only.
Okay, okay, okay,
Because in responsive design, you only play with the layout, like the according to the screen size. You don't make changes to the elements in it.
okay.
Hmm. So
And
let's
navigation and all this is all adaptive.
uh, uh,
Okay. And what about browser compatibility and all this?
browser compatibility, can like as
Like,
in, can you be more specific?
yeah, like sometime we see some application does not run in Firefox, Chrome, uh, like that, IE, something like that.
Hmm. So that might be related to the like coding and scripting part.
Coding. Okay.
That is a coding error that happens.
Okay.
Let's say I have created this as simple.
Like I know many sites which does not open in Firefox or IE. So I thought,
That is a, that is a technical error. Like,
okay,
that does not have to do anything. Now
okay,
see, this same design has come like in this screen, right? So what I'll do, I'll just make it according to that.
perfect.
Right? Now it is also different. So this is the same design, but in three versions. It looks like same. Like when you will see on the screen, it will exactly look like same. It will be no difference. Like you will find like it is the same thing, but it is actually adaptive because it is changing according to the screen sizes.
Yes. Yes.
Getting it? See
Yeah.
the layout is exactly same. The structure is exactly same, but the sizes is adapting to the screen sizes. Got it?
Yes. Right. This was my lot of confusion. So
So that's all right. That's all right.
not much of effort, right? I mean, just
Hmm.
10 to 5% more extra effort.
Yeah. Like there are small things that make big differences. Like that is where you enhance your customer experience, enhance your user experience and customer experience. Suppose that I'm using suppose some design has been made for iPhone 12 specifically, and now what is happening, I have opened it on 5s, so some clipping is happening. So that is a bad customer experience or user experience for me, because I will not be able to see the content of it. So better it should be like it should be created in a way that if I'm using it in 12 or maybe 5, the experience should be same.
And from the development point of view, they should take care. If
Yeah,
it is the screen or
yeah.
platform, it should adjust.
Yeah, like it is a very collaborative environment where everyone works in. Like it is never only part of the designer, it's never only part of the developer. It's a collaborative effort of all people to make things work.
Correct.
That is how it is.
Right.
So yeah, now it is 11:30. Let's take a break for 20 minutes. Let's meet at 12, and then we'll start it. Right?
Before we go, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say there is an event on a particular selection on the drop down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a developer want to create some event, or let's say for example he need to generate some Excel report on particular drop down.
Mm-hmm.
So when we as a UX designer, when you give this code to front end developer, and
Mm-hmm.
they have this functionality to implement. So at this point of time, they need our help, or they should do it.
Yes, and then they will need our help, because we'll be the person who will be telling them how it will be represented, right?
Why?
So
Because in code they can understand, right? Like in
in
CS.
code, they will be able to understand, but the code, like see, like the design that we are making, it is not dynamic, it is changing from screen to screen, but the code which happens, it's dynamic. Several different instances run on single screen only. It can be a possibility, right? So
Right.
there your present is required to make people understand that how you need not to go from one page to another page. It's just the thing you need to be on the same page, and this is how it will be displayed.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Scrum meetings are like keeps on happening, and these things are discussed like on daily basis or maybe bi-weekly, whatever progress you are making as a designer and developer. So all of them work hand in hand. That how it's
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Adi.
no worries. So let's break for a lunch. Let's break for a short time, like for 20 minutes, and let's meet back at 12, and then we'll continue from it. So we'll be reviewing from UX laws, 7 UX laws, and then we'll be seeing some UI guidelines, and then we'll be proceeding.
Okay. Thank you.
Right? Yeah. Hello, are you all back?
Yes, Aditya.
Yes, sir.
So let's finish the task flow quickly. So I'll show you like how to proceed it and like how to create the task flow in a partial manner, and the information architecture and rest of it you can build on yourself, right?
Okay.
Mm.
And Adit, like once this is done, then right now, actually, I personally have not created all
Hmm.
flow. Okay. So
Mhm.
once I get time and if I create, can I show you for review?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Anyone can reach out to me for that.
Okay.
So next session would be probably like covering something, and will become like you should be completing, or all should be completing the projects in this coming week, and then whenever we
Which
meet.
project? I mean,
This the project, the problem statement that you have taken for yourself
okay,
in the
okay,
starting.
okay,
So complete that, and I'll be sharing the link to the team and
okay,
in the Discord as well to submit the project. So what you have to submit, you have to submit the XD file and as well as the process document, what process you have gone through.
okay,
So select both, and then we can have we can have a feedback and review session
okay,
whenever we meet next time
okay.
at the wrap up session.
And I asked for the case study view. So
Yeah,
you
I've shared it. I've shared it. Like just
have said Behance, right? Site.
yeah. Like some of them I picked like which I found that was good, and there was a one document file, like one WeTransfer link that is there.
Okay. So
There are more also. Like I have to check my hard drive for that. So I'll just look at if there is if it is there, and then if I find, I'll share you. There is some gamification, UX gamification case study also which is present. I'll be sharing that.
I went through the site, but I'm not able to understand like this is already done or this has explained that what was the problem and how did they arrive to this particular framework.
So that is subjective. Like people can put up conceptual projects, or maybe they can put the actual projects as well. So that is like that. I cannot be very sure of, but yeah,
Okay.
the process is what you should look for, and the idea should be yours.
Yeah. Okay.
So starting the task flow, so we'll create a task flow of the general flow of the app, which should be there. So we start with some point, and then we go to splash screen, then we go to login. After that, what we go there can be two conditions, like whether the user has registered or not. Yes.
Right. New or already registered.
Hmm. So if the user has registered, then it would at login.
Adit, like, do you have any site or any apps in your mind which we can take reference, which you found based on your experience very well done?
Regarding the like any specific domain that you're talking about, or
Any domain, any apps or something which na, let's say for example, if I want to create a professional website and I don't
Mhm.
have a much team and I'm just a starter and still I want to give a professional look. So
Mhm.
this is my thought. So what I can do is I can copy the LinkedIn thing and all because this is very
Mhm.
professional and it is sort of B2B if I assume.
Mhm.
So I can copy like that. So in the same way, if any app which you think it's a very well based on the user experience very well designed.
Mhm. Airbnb is a very good example. Airbnb has been designed very well
Okay.
as per the user experience and for the visual design as well.
Okay.
The visual language that they have created, that is very well designed.
Hmm.
And Tinder is also a nice example. Like it is like it sounds funny, but like actually the user experience of that is that is also an example. Like people like that can be considered. You can just have a look at like how simple things are there, not no complex things.
Okay.
Even if that is a dating website, but the user interface or the user experience,
Yes.
it's very simple, and they keep on like changing it. Like they keep on updating it.
Okay.
That is there, and uh, And for the UX thing, you can refer to the Amazon's app now.
Okay.
For
Amazon.
the but for only UX, not anything else. Like don't refer Amazon's thing for the UI thing, but for UX, just understand how the UX has been done nicely on
For
Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
Yeah, that is a good example. And any other app that I'll tell you is mm, yeah, Spotify. Spotify is very nicely done.
Okay.
Spotify. So you can
Any comments on Netflix?
Netflix, yeah, Netflix. One good thing about Netflix that I found out is like it is more like little technical thing which is there, but they take preferences of the users and then they convert them into like convert they project them into
They use it for conversion.
like user to there's a very unique thing that I found in Netflix. Like the most the most frequent genre that you will be watching in Netflix. So what will happen? So your search results and even the images on it would be based on that. Like the images that you will be looking at once you log into the screen will be modified according to that.
Okay.
That is a very rare user experience application that is there on Netflix.
Personalized sort of thing.
Personalization, like very engagement and like a very immersive in personalization, which is there, which is taking into your preferences and not just showing you results based on that, but also changing the UI and changing the color theme based on your experiences. Let's say you are watching too many crime thrillers and all, so they will change the theme according to, like they will personalize the colors and little shades and tints according to you. So that was a finding that I got from when I was doing a study on Netflix as a research thing. So that I found out. And yeah, the organization, like how the organization of like things have been done in Netflix, that is good.
Okay.
That is good.
Great.
Then Prime Video, you can like Prime Video application app of Prime Video. You can have a look at how simply the things can be shown. Like it's very like the information classification has been done very well in Prime Video.
Okay.
Specifically the app, not the website. Not the I'm not talking about the website, but the app. The classification you know about what is like like you get good sessions on home, then there is a classification of TV shows, movies and kids, like the major things which people will search for. There are so many categories other than that as well, but the classification, information classification that has been done, like going with the latch framework that we discussed for information architecture in last session.
Okay.
So that is a good thing.
What about LinkedIn? This.
LinkedIn have improved a little bit, but I think that can be improved a little bit more. Like the information on LinkedIn is too cluttered, very much cluttered.
Okay. And one more question. I hope I'm not hijacking because I have a lot many questions. These are all practical experience which I faced.
No worries, no worries. You can discuss.
Okay. Like in B2C, like we can get a lot of things. In B2B segment, I have read somewhere that customer journey or customer satisfaction, user experience, whatever you said. In B2B, it is said like you cannot make it 100% on UI UX. I mean, on design side, and experience is all count for the functionality wise and what they need, how you fulfill like that.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah,
true? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
okay, you got my question, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
That is because that is mostly because when you consider a B2B project, that is more kind of functionality thing, that how easily I'm going to accomplish my task. So if you talk about customer journey map there, so I would be focused on reducing the time that is being taken to perform any task.
Okay, great.
I would Their engagement is not a very big factor for me because I'm not interacting with the customers. I'm interacting with the B2B clients, of which I know कि they will be using the application. Right?
Okay.
Just that we have to organize the content in a manner that is easily accessible to them, and they should be able to complete the task in a very short time.
Right.
That is the major consideration there.
Any apps which you remember, which we can take reference?
Clever Tap is an application that you can
B2B segment.
B2B segment, and Asana is one of
Asana.
the
Yeah, I do
Asana.
like that. Asana is good.
Asana is there, and yeah, Asana, V2, Slack. Slack you can consider, but not. I prefer Discord more over Slack. Like
Okay.
Slack, the things are too much big. Everything is bigger,
Yeah,
and
Slack also problem is it takes a lot of memory and all. So
it takes a lot of memory that's there. But the UI wise also it's too colorful. Like it and see, and if it is a B2B product, so you don't have to use so much colors into that. Even the singular color can work very good. That's
yeah,
where Discord serves good because they have worked on the functionality part. You whatever you can do in Discord, you can never do in Slack. The community part and all. If you if you have closely observed Discord, just have a look at it, like how the Discord architecture has been made, and you will get a very good insight. Just compare it with Slack, you'll get good insights.
yeah. User experience in Discord is much better than Slack.
Hmm. Because they focus on what is required to you, and you can customize it based
Yeah.
on your experiences.
Okay.
So now coming on to task flow. So login sign up. So here there will be conditions key what I want to do if there is a yes. If let's say there is a no, then I would be proceeding to the sign up, and if it is yes, then I would be proceeding towards this thing. Now after login, where you will reach to the home page. So you will reach to the home page. So whatever functionalities that you will get, so you will get as a so first thing that you will need to provide in the home screen will be kind of navigation, right? Which enables you to access different options. And here I will not be arranging that into a manner of top-down approach, but I'll be using the same level approach for that because I know that all of these five options. So this will be a representation of a navigation bar in the bottom, or maybe any different thing which can be there, and it will contain some of the features which we have defined in the functionality part or the functionality. So it can be like this. You can represent it just like this.
So you are saying like this we can use for other application like if they are in Twitter, something like that.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So this you said we can use it in the background. I mean, at the bottom of the page for other functions.
Yeah. You can use I'm talking about the navigation patterns, like how in user flows, you also need to define the what how the navigation will be happening, right? So this like after login, the user will be proceeding to the home page,
Okay.
right, like this,
We
and
can
there
also
will be
create
sorry.
it in First, also we can do this in paper and then.
Yeah, that you can do. Like I'm working on the digital medium, so I have to manually do it and then upload. So we can do like that. And what else? So we can define the features, like what are the different sections. Let's say there's a home section which I'm making. Home section is there. Then planet section is there. Like there is a planning thing which we decided to put in the app, right? Planet is there. Then what is the other thing? Okay. You should identify the nutritional content in things that they are buying. Okay. User can have suggestions based on the buying pattern. In terms of nutritional, maybe recipe section can, like the recipe or preparations can be uh, preparations and recipe section. You can introduce the marketing, like buying list, kind of, where the user is going to like prepare a list of something and then goes on it. And another thing that you can put is you can put a profile there. So these are the major navigation items which can be present on the home screen, right? So on home screen, what else we can what else we can include, what as a functionalities. So I can just put things beneath this. What will be the task flow? Like let's say what will be the things that will be in that will fall in planner, preparations and all, buying list, what will be the things that will be in buying list and what will be there in profile, right? So in suggestions, it can be list of ingredients, shops can be there, and suggestions suggestions can be there. Similarly, in planner, what you can do is daily planner and weekly planner. Preparation and recipes, and we can have traditional and generic recipes. Buying list can have a list of past purchase and list of things that I'm going to that I'll be purchasing in future. Right? And profile can have user information. Right? Any confusion at this point?
No, sir.
Yeah. So what? So I just in task flow, like see, this is not a very clear cut, very nice task flow. Still, it can be improved a lot. So this is just kind of a sitemap of flow of how the user will go into the application. What like how he will navigate.
So it's basically an overview of the entire application.
Yes, that's how you can simply say it. So here I'm not telling about the information that will be that will contain in this thing. So home will have these things, planner will have these things, preparation will have these things, buying list will have these things.
So it's basically categorizes the different sections of the application.
Yeah, kind of, right? So and like I've written here start, but I'm not written here end, because like there is no single user flow which is there. So there would be, let's say I have to see what ingredients are there. So how I'll go, I'll start, I'll go to login screen, I'll go to home, then I'll go to ingredient and search for ingredients, right? And I can see where it is available, and I can go and get it, right? Or maybe if I want to see shops which are selling it, so I again how I'll start in the application. I will start, go to go to home page. In home section, I'll go to shop and then find whatever shops are there nearby. Suggestions, so similarly it follows for each and everything. Let's say I want to do a daily planning, or maybe I want to do a weekly planning, or I just want to look at after the recipes which are there and different things. So there can be multiple task flows which are small task flows which can be there, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is how you can, and you need to connect it wisely so that it shows ki what is the flow that you want to achieve in the, what is the flow that you want to achieve in the application. So similarly you will connect to all of these, right? Now coming on to, so this is how like this is a complete, like you have to just like if you want to expand or like one-on-one, I'll just show you. uh, just a second. Just give me a second. See, this was one of the project that I did. See how simple, like now that you have created a universal task flow. See, this is a universal view of task flow. I'm showing you a universal view of task flow. So see how you start login and you go to like register section if you have registered or not, and then you go to home page, my profile. So these are the options which will be available in the home section. Now if you go deep into this particular section, so how your task flow will be there. So it will start from login, home, finding beds and oxygen, what are the different conditions which are associated, like what are the conditions, if it is yes, then what will happen, if it is no, then what will happen, and then finally you go towards end. So similarly each and every, like see for COVID actions, it is the same task flow which is there. So you cannot actually inculcate all of those task flows in this thing. So you can initially create a universal view of task flow, and then you can create like this a simplified view of task flow like this. See, getting the idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So there can be many conditions based on that. So you have to carefully craft how the flow of the how the user will flow into your application.
This is information architecture as well, right?
This is user flow only. This is not information architecture. This is still user flow.
And input for this will come.
Input for this will be the customer journey mapping and the ideas that you have generated from brainstorming.
Okay.
So the customer journey mapping, what you will take from customer journey mapping, like how the user goes to perform any specific task, right? And the things that you will map is the findings of the like ideation part, or maybe you can take from the functional brief that you have decided. Because now you're not looking at the analysis part, you are just looking at how to place that information best possible way for the user, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's basically like star email diagrams, which we
Sorry.
used to make in software engineering.
You can say that.
Yeah,
It's just a basic flowchart thing, which
yeah.
gives you clear understanding of what is happening in the application. So it's not a rocket science. It's just the simple things. No big things.
So
Now,
it's basically to so that we can also remember the flow of everything which we have to make.
yes,
Means
yes,
from which page we will have to jump to which page, and then the
exactly.
next one.
How the things
Same.
will be connected, how the
Yeah.
interactions will happen. So there's for that only. Yes, that's right. So after this, we have to create information architecture. We'll be creating information architecture. So for creating information architecture, you have to do nothing, just create a copy of it and expand the information which will go into the so what will happen? I'll remove some of the things because it will create a little toxic. So let's say I have to now create an information architecture. So I'll just expand everything a little bit so that you could understand what is happening.
What is the difference? It is same. It looks like same.
It looks like same, but now you will be adding the details of it. Like now, what information like remember what we have told in like what we have known in information architecture. What is information architecture? It is a blueprint of the application, right?
It's like till I mean detail level,
Yeah.
right? The top hierarchy till the end.
Yeah,
Till,
detail of all the information or the element of information that will be present in each and every screen or each and every feature. What will be the things that will be there that is related to the information architecture? Till now, you were only concerned of stating how the task will happen, right? You did not tell this will be the element that will be available on that screen. This will be the element that will. Now you are just till this point you were just concerned about how the user will flow in the app, go from one point to another point, right? You are not talking about the the information he needs to put, the information that and that will go. You are only talking about the process. Here what you will do, you will expand the same thing with the type of information that will be there. So in ingredients, what can be the information, what will be the elements? So the elements can be search, ingredients, and filter, maybe whatever you feel like that can go into that, or uh, uh, like find ingredients with nutrition contents, or find easily available, like nearest available, nearest available, right? These are the things that you can put. Similarly, you can do for shops as well. Like you are now putting what are the information that will go inside that thing. If there are three sections of the home screen that you're going to put, what are the things that you're going to put inside that, and how it will lead to some other screen. So in shops, what you can do, shops can also have uh, shops can also have like search search near shops, search action shops. Yeah, prices at different shops, definitely. Prices at different shops, maybe comparison can be there. Like maybe like suggestions can lead to like the comparison of the items, nutritional content in it. So similarly, like this, you will expand the information. So this is the one way that you can do, or either way, you can also do it like this. So if you want to, like, that is up to you how you want it. So we can just provide a sub level to that. Like this. You can provide like each and every information just like this in each and every in each and every plan part. Got the idea? What you have to do? Like it is nothing. Like you just want to you just need to put all the elements of information that you want to put inside it.
Basically, it's a documentation.
Yeah, it's a kind of documentation of the proper documentation of how the information is presented in an application.
Okay, got it.
So now what you're doing actually, you're summarizing all the research thing, all the ideas into a structural manner. Like what would be the structure now? What would be the structure of the application that you would be looking at? Because now we are leading to the design of the screens, right? Now that we are leading to the design of the screens, then we can, before that we have to write down all the things that is a rigid thing. What we have to like make the rigid things out of everything and then make it. Just give me a second. Yeah. So till this point is clear, like I will give you I have already shown you that example, no? Like in last class for the information architecture. Yes, no?
So kindly repeat the last thing which you said.
I'm asking ki, like I have shown you that example of information architecture in the last class, no?
Yes. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that
Yes.
will that same structure will be followed when you expand the user task flow to form a information architecture. Got it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's start with a few laws of UX and then finally start with the wireframing and in some guidelines. So I'll just
Which
share.
says color and theme, all these lies.
We'll be covering that once we finish the wireframing. Then we'll come to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just give me a second. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so whenever we do the wireframing or we whenever we do the design of the screens, there are some UX laws. So you can refer to this website lawsofux.com. So there are not only seven, there are more than seven, almost more than 20 UX laws which are there. So of which these are the most seven most commonly used seven laws of UX, which is taken into consideration while designing the application. It so it is like whenever you use this thing, so it is almost very intuitive. Like you will not like sometimes you will not feel ki you are using it because it becomes so natural. Like when you will look at these laws, you'll find that yes, these are some things which I already know. Just that you need to consider it also while designing the applications, right? So of them, seven laws are one Restov effect, Hicks law, Fetch law, Zeigarnik effect, serial position effect, law of combination, and law of proximity. So these are seven laws. The rest of them, you can have it on laws of UX.com. It has been taken from there on only. Just that it has been simplified. So first is one desktop effect. What is one desktop effect? It says that it is also known as the isolation effect. It says that if there are so many similar looking if there are so many similar looking structures available on the screen, so the one which have a different color or different attributes will be visible, and people are likely to remember that more as compared to any other similar structure. The example of that can be like you can understand it with the image given below. So see, there are four radio buttons which are there, and one of it is selected. So you are most likely to remember that, or you are most likely to like see that first, apart from the other structures which are present along with that, right? So this is called Von Desktop effect. So it is used for making distinctive, like making things look distinctive in a whenever it is presented on the screen. And the example is this, like you must have seen this example, like many websites you have seen this. The chatbot which appears as soon as you open the website. So this is an example of one desktop effect key. So whenever you open the website, the pop-up gets opened automatically. So without so might be a possibility that without even looking the website, what is the content of the website, you get to see your eyesight gets to the chatbot first, and then it goes to the website when you close it or you minimize it. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So this is one desktop effect. Now second one is Hicks law.
So basically, it says like you follow this law if you want something, some attention like this.
Yes. Yes. Second is Hicks law. So, uh, so Hicks law says that users are likely to make decision based on how many choices they are given. Let's say if you have given 6 choices, so it would take a little more time to you to decide any one from the 6. And if I give you only 2 or 3 options, it would be very easy for you to choose between 3 options, right? Is it like does it follow for everyone? So this is called Hicks law. Like and we follow the same thing whenever we want to improve the user experience or improve the process like process time. So we never give the user so many options. We stick to 2, 3, 4, not more than that. So the more options we give to the user, the more it will be hard for him to make decisions. Suppose that we want to accomplish some tasks, so we have given a challenge in UX. You have to optimize the process, the UX process of some process, let's say onboarding application, onboarding the app or something like that, and you have to optimize it and uh, make it in a way that it gets completed in 10 seconds. So how you will approach the problem? You will analyze and find what are the important things, and you try to minimize it to the least possible choices, so that the overall selection time is reduced, right? So this is called Hicks law. And the example of this is Airbnb. See what they have done. So first thing that they have done is they have used the white space in a very nice way. So whenever you go into the website, so you first thing that you see is the search bar. The first thing that you see is the search bar, and
Yes.
other options are displayed in a shorter form or a smaller form, so that your attention goes to the search bar first, and if you look more, then it goes to the other parts, so that as soon as you land, you start searching on the website, and that is the motive that you search for things. So this is the example of Hicks law. If I am presenting you only one option, then definitely you are going to select that. So that is the idea behind that. Now coming on to Fitts law. Fitts law is Fitts law is based on the selection time of making selections, making any selections or pressing any control call to action buttons. So the time it takes to the time it takes to make selection is based on the size of the target. Like if the things are bigger, then we get to select it like more easily than if it is smaller. And also the second, like there are two parts of Fitts law. It First thing is how big and small the target is, and how near or far the target is from your finger. You can understand that with the help of this the affinity in like diagram of on the screen, which is easy, okay, and hard to access areas. So the green area which is there, it is easily accessible with the thumb of your. So you can make selection based on that area very easily. In OK area, still you can shift your hands a little bit and you make selection, and it's hard for the topmost corner, and it gets reversed for people who are left-handed. That is exactly reversed. Got it? Any confusion in in this law? Like these are simple laws, not too much rocket science.
Example.
Yes.
Yeah. And the example, like this is not a very good example of Fitts law, because the navigation pattern that is followed in websites is F kind of navigation pattern. Have you heard about it? F pattern navigation? Anyone have heard about F navigation pattern?
No.
So F navigation pattern says that whenever you start accessing a website or anything, by default, your navigation or the eyesight goes in a shape of F. So you read from left to right first, and then you go to starting point, and then you go down, and then you start reading from left to right. So that forms a F pattern. That is called as F pattern. Thanks, happy Teachers Day to everyone. So that is called as F navigation pattern. And Since this is like Fit's law will not be so much evident in websites because you have the access to the mouse, so you can move your mouse to any place. Like I can move my cursor to from this point to this point in just a matter of 1 second, maybe some milliseconds, right? It is more evident in whenever you are using the mobile application, especially like consider about this. Consider about this example. This example. So why the navigation bars are always kept in downside so that you could easily access it. So that a response time that it takes is very short. It's not very long, right? And the things we don't want the user to click, it is always to the topmost thing. Like if I don't want the user to keep on checking the profile, I'll put that on the topmost corner or maybe somewhere here. And that's the reason why all the drop down or the slider bars are have the controls here or on the top corner so that you accidentally don't press it and it does not get open. So so this is a common pattern which is based on the Fitts law. Yeah. Now coming on to Zeigarnik effect. What is Zeigarnik effect? Zeigarnik effect says that so we are more likely to remember the things which are incomplete or like interrupted because as compared to the completed task. And whenever if we represent it with some kind of highlight or something, that will make the user experience more easy, that what I need to accomplish and what I need to what I can skip. So of let's say of 100 tasks which I have which are there in my dashboard, let's say 2 or 3 are more incomplete, so I'll always remember that there are 2 or 3 tasks which are incomplete and I have to complete it. This is called Zeigarnik effect, and how you can implement it in the UI. So you must have seen this example of complete profile everywhere. Any application that you sign up or anywhere. Seen it? Yes.
Yes, sir. It also happens in Facebook.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gives the progress bar that your profile is 50% complete or 60% complete. And most importantly, it happens in LinkedIn.
Yes. Yes, that's right. So this is called a Zeigarnik effect. Okay, when you prompt the user to you can prompt the user to do something by just showing him that something is incomplete, because user will never forget that it is incomplete. It's a new natural human behavior. Now coming on to the fifth one is, which is serial position effect. Serial position effect says that you should always keep the important information in your design to the first and the last part, and less important things into the middle, because people are more likely to remember the first and last part of the information, and first and last part of the information, and it is how it goes. So this you can this you can trace back to you all have come we all have completed our education. So remember, when you just write any answer and answer sheet on your own, so you know that see, the funny things about it, like people know that people start शुरुआत का and end का, and बीच में whatever you write, that is okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it happens
Yeah,
sometimes.
it happens कि वो हमने maybe you would have done also, or some of us would have done कि we start very nicely and we end very nicely, and just we fill the information in between so that it can make the content look bigger, or whatever we want that to look like. So that is actually the serial position effect. Ki people read first thing and people read last things naturally, and they remember it.
Onboarding and exit sort of thing.
Yeah, onboarding and exit, and maybe some important like You can like let's say you are creating a blog kind of app screen in your design. So what you can like how you can implement the serial position effect is, okay, there's an example of Instagram like how they have utilized serial position effect. Okay, they have utilized the home and the profile option. So even if you open the Instagram right now, this is an older version of Instagram when the inbox was like when the DM icon was like that, or box kind of. So even if you right now open the Instagram, it's a very older pick of Instagram. Even if you open it right now, you will still find the home and profile button at the same place. You can just check it right now. And why is that so? Because I know that because I know that key home should be on first, and like since I've been using Instagram for long, so I assume that it should be like that only. The home should be first, and the profile how they are put that should be last. They are constantly like if you have observed the update of Instagram, you would see that they are constantly changing the middle icons frequently. Now the create post button lies to the top right of the corner of the screen, right? And earlier, and just before 1 month, it was there in top left corner. Yes, remember it?
Sir, repeat it once again. I missed some of the words.
Yeah, so I'm saying that Instagram keeps on home button and profile button as same as like it was there on previous versions.
Yeah, it is more or less the same.
Yeah, it is more, but they keep on changing the middle portion of the icons. Now here there is an option for creating reels, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
It is, and now they have put like the create post button was earlier and at this point. Now they have put at this point, right? And shifted the Instagram icon to here. And just
Yes,
before 1 month, the create post button was here, and in middle the Instagram was there.
yes, sir.
The key, so they keep on playing. Right now, the position of the create post button, which is there in Instagram, that I don't consider very good because if I need to create posts, so how will I create it? I'm not going to create reel as often as I am going to post content. Like that is like if that is done very intentionally, that people should upload more videos than images, then that is understandable. Instagram wants us to like post more videos than images, but if it is a non-thought process, then it's a totally waste of thing, right? Because as a person, I don't post as many videos as I post images.
Or if they have some strategically change, whether they want to change the habit of the user to post more
Yeah,
videos.
that's also there. But like this is a like imposed behavior that they want to budget. Like this is not a fruitful thing. This is not a fruitful thing that I want to like change. If yes, I'm using Instagram and like I'm doing the same thing. I'm still doing the same to create when I'm creating posts. I'm still posting the images only. I'm not posting the videos as well. But
Right.
yes, they would have thought ki now people should post like videos more than images, but not everyone is comfortable in posting videos, right? So that is all.
Yes, sir.
Law of common region and law of common region says that ki let's say if there are group of identical objects, so many identical objects, if we just separate it with the help of spaces, so it would seem like they have different group of elements. Like you can have a look at the example which is given. Ki there are all the square elements are similar, just that it has been given a little white space between them. So now the content which is there, it looks like there are three groups, right? And this is called as law of common region. Right, the example of this is like see the structure of the things, how they are represented. Though the information is like different, though the information is different in each of the boxes, but yes, it is looking like it's a similar thing. It's some kind of similar thing which is presented to us, right? This is called as law of common region.
Yes, sir.
And last is law of proximity. So law of proximity says that it is very similar to law of common region. Very little difference is that, okay, whenever like whenever you say that law of, whenever this is called, this is taken from Gestalt law of design. So whenever you whenever you will start learning about design, you will learn about five laws of Gestalt, five laws of perception. So this is one of the five laws of Gestalt law of perception, which is law of proximity. So it says that it says the same thing. The objects which are near are likely to be seen as grouped together. But what is the difference here? Like in previous law of common region, it was saying that law of common region, it was saying that it is the differentiation is based on the space which is in which the object lies. Here, it is saying that it is based on the grouping, right? So it like in earlier in this one, it was saying that, see the second line which is written. Law of common region expresses that elements are grouped together when they share an area with a clear boundary between them. Consider adding a border to an element or define a background behind an element to create a common region. So if I just put a common boundary or a common shape between behind any shape, so it will look like if it is a different thing. But what law of proximity says, it says that if objects are grouped together, like in any manner, so it looks like they share the similar properties, right? And this the example of this is like the categorization on the e-commerce websites. Yeah. So, and did anyone and everyone got the idea what is the difference between law of proximity and law
Yes,
of
sir.
common region?
So these all are used
So,
Hmm?
on case, these all are used case to case basis.
Yeah, like they are all there. These all are use cases.
so we can say that it's basically like categorizing the similar type of products in the same
Mhm.
category and showing to the user according to their requirements or needs or whatever they are searching for.
Yes. Like I'll give you an example of like law of common region and law of proximity. So let me create an, let's say I'm using a iPad. Law of common region. Let's say I'm creating some, right? I'm just creating some copies of it and group it. And what I'll do is law of common region. What I'll do is I'll just expand it like this, or maybe I will not expand it. I'll just make all of them bigger. All of them bigger, and what will happen, I'll just make it scrollable. So what will happen after is just see what happens. So let's say I'm making a this thing, and I placed it in background, and maybe right. So this thing, and there is some content which is there. So how I can utilize and uh, title and some text. So suppose that if I put title and text here, I go to load up. Suppose that there's the so now if I let's say if I play this now if I play this, so what do you think? Like now it seems like okay, this content is for this thing, right? This content changes for this thing. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Now just that I have not like implemented the interaction proper interaction how it should be, but it is looking like that, right? So this is
Yes.
the application of law of common region, like how the application is done for law of common region. And same the law of proximity, or how will we tell about the law of proximity? It will be like okay, I've created some random shapes. Let's say I've created it like this.
Like if we select some like in search comedy movie
Hmm.
or
Yes.
related to
Hmm. Yeah. Let's say I've duplicated this 4 and this 4. Right? Let's say this much only. Now, if I separate this with this region and this much space, so will it look like 3 different groups? 1, 2, 3, right?
three different blocks. Yes.
So there's called a law of proximity. When you divide it based on the similarities or maybe grouping, then it seems like it is a kind of 3 different separate groups, even though you did not use a space between them. Here you use space to as an element to differentiate between them, but here you are not using it, right? So that was it about UX laws, and yeah, we are over with the time. So what? So do you have a half an hour extra? Like if everyone is okay with half an hour extra,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So then I'll show you some UI guidelines, and then I'll show you how to set up the screen. Then you can try making low fidelity wireframes, and yeah. In meanwhile, so maybe in somewhere around let's say maybe Saturday. What like how are you like how you all are placed on Saturday, coming Saturday?
I'm available.
Yeah,
I am also available, sir.
yeah, everyone. If like so most probably on Saturday, like Saturday evening we can have a class. We can have a
Okay.
class, 2 3 hour class, and then or maybe if you want to split it, that we can also do like half 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour on Saturday and Sunday, and we can quickly do things like whatever we are left with today. So mostly we are left with the prototyping only. Rest of the things are complete, and yeah, we have covered UX laws and everything.
Adit, since a lot of digitization and startups are there, so
Mhm.
it's a weird question. I just got it in mind. I thought to ask:
Mhm.
is there any apps or anything where I can see whether this UI UX is right or not wrong? Is there somewhere where who can validate?
So there is a method to validate it, heuristic evaluation. So once we complete our prototype, then we'll be doing heuristic evaluation as well. Heuristic evaluation and usability testing we'll be having a look at.
Okay, it's
So yeah,
manual approach or
so
automatic?
it's a manual. It's not automated. You have to do it manually.
So
So
let's say, for example, if I ask or if I have got a collection of 10 to 15 or 30
mhm.
apps or site, and if
Mhm.
I want to check whether their UI UX is correct or wrong, so that has to be done manually then.
So you can do. There are automated process, but they will not tell you what is wrong with that. They will find patterns and they will show it to you.
Okay.
So there is a pattern of heat maps.
Heat map. Okay.
Heat maps. So what happens in heat maps? You just put the screens on into testing, right? And what it does, it generates heat maps based on the interaction that you are doing on the screen.
Okay.
You can
So that's come under
analyze.
that's
Huh?
come under testing or as a
Yeah,
development.
yeah, it comes under testing, usability testing,
So
like
like
alpha beta
UI UX
testing.
UI UX testing, which it
Uh,
comes under UI testing. Okay.
yeah, usability testing. You can most probably you can say it as a usability testing.
Okay. So they have some tool to test.
There are like external tools, but that are paid mostly. Like usertesting.com is a very good tool for testing, but that is a paid thing.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Thanks, Arya.
But there will be plugins that you will get for heat map generation
Okay.
in
And
XD.
analyze that heat map.
Yeah, analyze and
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
so at Saturday, most probably we'll be taking like we can take an afternoon as well, or let's say 12 to maybe or maybe in the morning 11 to 1 or something like that. We can do 11 to 1. Just let me check my calendar. So next is Saturday is 11. No, Saturday it will not be possible. Sunday it will be possible. Saturday is occupied. Mm,
Or we can do one on weekdays as well, evening time.
uh, I guess that's better.
Okay.
So weekdays, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So we can do either on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or yeah, Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Those we
Evening time.
evening times are free for me.
Evening time, right?
Evening time, any time after 6. So we can have a 1.5 hour class or maybe 2 hour class.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. What say should we do on tomorrow or like on Wednesday? Let's do on Wednesday so that you can work a little on your project, and then when we meet back on Wednesday, then we can do a substantial amount of work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so yeah. After this, now we come to the guidelines, understanding the what are the iOS and Android UI guidelines and what are the differences and what are the similarities between them before we jump off. And so
Who,
talking about
who
the
owns
visual,
this guideline?
sorry,
Who owns this guideline?
sorry, come again.
Who owns this guideline?
So like these are the guidelines that have been created for iOS systems and Android systems, and most of the devices fall under these two only. So Apple has created a HIG human interface guidelines, which is iOS guideline, and Android has material design guideline.
So this also keeps get updated and then published.
Yes, this like recently Android like material design 2 has came.
Okay.
Mhm. Recently material design 2 has come, and they have a new set of guidelines which are there. Not very different, like not entirely different, but yeah, there's a shift from that material thing to a flat hierarchy that they have did. Right. So what are the visual design differences? Like the title position is different in iOS and Android. Like title position is middle to the middle when you consider this thing Apple, and it is towards the left of the screen when you tell about the Android. System font, by default system font for iOS is San Francisco. Before that, it was Helvetica. Now it has been converted, and like now they have changed to San Francisco. And Google is still using the Roboto as a system font. So by default, if any UI design is created For iOS or Android, it would be San Francisco or Voto. iOS uses flat design hierarchy with the use of contrasting colors. So if we have to make differences between background and foreground, so we have to make a little contrast between both the things. While Android uses shadows, like Android uses paper like approach to give the depth to the UI design, which is the basis of material design. So material design is totally based on the shadows and layerings. Like suppose that how you will hold a piece of paper on the top of a table or tabletop or anything, and how the shadow will be created. So that is what the concept of each and every element is there in material design. The icon style is filled in Android. It is lined icon style in iOS, but that's a subjective thing. Like it is based on what your creative what is your creative site saying to do. Like it can be totally different. But default style of icons is like line in iOS, and icon style is like solid and but in like Android. Buttons. Whenever you talk about buttons about an iOS, so inactive buttons or the less important buttons don't are not shown as a boundary, while in Android everything is shown in boundary. So even if the button is less important, or the button is something which we don't want the user to click, then also it will have boundary on it. Just that it will be having different highlight color. UI control styles are also following the same flat hierarchy in iOS, while UI control style in Android follow neumorphic approach. Neumorphic is in like a real kind of controls they follow, right? So these are the visual design differences. And now coming on to grid specifications. So we'll be in more like right now we'll be doing the grid specification for the iOS only, and we can do for Android as well. So these are the grid specifications. So status bar, for the status bar we leave 44 point, navigation for 97, layout margin at each sides in Android and iOS, then that both is 16 points only. Tab bar is 49, home indicator is 34 points, where your home bar is presented. And the icon size is 44 across 44 in iOS by default. Now coming on to like Android, it has 24 for the status, app bar is for 56 dp, layout margin is 16, icon is for 24 cross 24, bottom navigation bar is 56 dp. And the area which you are seeing in the middle is the grayish area. That is the safe area. That is called the safe area. So safe area is always the best area to work on. All the major content that you are putting, you should put in safe area so that no clipping occur of the content when it is when it adopts to different size of the screen. It does not clip. Navigation differences. So usually in iOS, the back control is towards the top left, while the hamburger menu is there in Android. Segmented controls are again are kind of a button kind of hierarchy in iOS, while that is a tabs in Android. Secondary navigation is always in the lowmost corner in the iOS, while bottom navigation does, like in Android, does not have any secondary control. Default buttons are there. Like now, then it is being represented on the screen only. Now coming on to the next screen, what is the UI control differences? UI control differences are like not much thing. Like floating action button is a different thing, which is not present in iOS. Apart from that, everything is the same in both of the things. There's only difference of floating action button, which is fab control in iOS, which is part of a material design guideline. Now alerts, like the way, like visual style is a little different of how the search and alerts are shown in like Android and iOS. Just that is based on the segmentation and the flat hierarchy. And what is the similarity between that? The content area.
Alert notifications are same, right?
Sorry.
Alerts and notifications same.
Yes, yes. The representation method is a little different, but mostly it's same.
Okay.
And what are the different, like what are the elements which are similar UI patterns? Tools and navigation, it is same for both iOS and Android. Just that grid specification is little different. And search is same, gestures and all, it is same. Use of colors and branding and all, that is exactly same. If you're creating application for said company, so definitely you're going to follow their brand guidelines and color system. And branding stuff like color, usage of color and branding, interaction, the language that they write in the application, that is similar in both of the systems. Now, coming on to the typography in iOS and typography in Android. So, in iOS, the least possible font size will be 12. For both for as a standard, both our screens would have the least possible size as 12 only. For captions, somewhere you can use maybe 11 or 10. You can use 11 or 10 somewhere, but regular font size will be 12 and above it. So it will be 12, 14, 16, 20, 22, 28, 34 in iOS, while in iOS it will be like 12, 14, 16, 20, 24, 34, 48, 60, and 96. So this is what, like we will be defining this whenever we create a style guide for whenever we are creating the style guide for our application. We'll be defining this, and you are seeing a leading in this. So leading is the space between two lines of the text. Like what should be the line if we are using the font size of 11 or 12? What should be the leading size between the two lines of the text? That is 16 for 12 size, 18 for 13, 20 for 15, 21 for 16, and similarly for other. You can just find it, like it is there on internet. You can just find it and use it. No need to remember that. Like you will remember it as soon as much as you will use it. That will be easy for you, but no need to remember it. You just use it and you'll learn. So yeah, that was it regarding the UI specifications. Anything that you want to be clear of, anything?
So these are the just guidelines. So it is up to the company and individual to follow or not, or it is something
It
like
is it is followed. It's a standard that needs to be followed.
okay.
Companies who have mentioned their own design guidelines or their own design standards, what they do is they just use this specification only, and then they build on this. No, they don't create their own set of specification. Whatever they have, they will fall in this also.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is how it will be there. Now let's jump to XD and then set up a screen guide specification according to iOS in XD. So let's jump into Adobe XD. Get a artboard, iPhone 12, right? So now we'll be
And
setting
also Aditya, if you have any tutorials link or something, that also you can send that
tutorials regarding what?
for Adobe XD.
Yeah, sure. I'll
There
tell
are
you.
there are plenty available if I do Google, but
So the best I would suggest you all to, like, for Adobe XD, that is Adobe Behance's Adobe Daily Creative Challenge. That is the best. Like you don't need to like refer any other sources.
what you can you please come and say?
Adobe Daily Creative Challenge for XD.
This is what one group.
Sorry.
This is what group or I didn't get you.
Wait. I'll just share it. Yeah, I have posted in the chat for every one of you.
Okay. Okay,
So
got
this
it.
is a project-based learning that you will get. So like they don't tell you the concept. If you only need to know how the XD works and how to implement different things, this is good. But you will never like they will not tell you any concept like in any specification and any concept. There's just an artistic way of you like exploring what XD can do, what different things XD can do.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But always like go according with the guidelines and then follow the same things so that you could create a rigid thing. Don't create a artistic thing, but you create things which are according to the standards.
Okay.
Now let's set up. Let's go to Adobe XD and let's set up the grid. So first thing, so we'll select the this thing and we'll enable the layout. We'll enable the layout, and as soon as we enable the layout, this column grid will appear, and you can change the color of the column. Now we know that we have to give this space 16. So how we can change that? I'll go to this. First thing, this see this left and right margin are right now 37. I'll put 16, and it will change according to that. Right now, see, and this is still this thing. So what I'll do, I'll increase the cutter width, maybe 12, and then again try it 16. Then it will become 16. See, clear? It has now become 16. Now, what are the other specification? Status bar is 44, navigation is 97, right? So status bar is 44. So what we'll do for the guides, first thing we'll take the guides. So whenever you take your cursor to this point, and drag it to inside, you will get a line which is the guide. And once you leave it, there would be line that would be inside it. And on above side, it shows ki how much spacing it is there, like this, right? You have put
Hello,
the
sir.
yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. This is Shashwat.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say right now the time is 1:20 or something.
Hmm.
So you're sure the participants are fine with the extension, right?
Yeah, I've asked them, then only I've extended.
Okay. And something I heard that you are taking another session. Is that correct?
Yeah. There's something which is left to be covered. So I've asked them if we take a session. So they've said they're fine with it.
Okay. And could you please convey the dates through Ankit to me afterwards?
Yeah, sure. That I'll do. That I'll do.
Okay, thanks. And how much, just for information, how much this session is expected to extend, right? Here?
Like maybe like by 7-8 minutes it would be over. Like it's almost over.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. So the specification which needs to be coming from above is 44 and 97. So we'll do the same thing. We'll grab the cursor from there. We'll do the 34. We'll come till 34, 32, 34, and will again come from 97. See, from above it will be 97, 91, 97, like this. Got it? And from downside it is 49 and 34. So 49 and 34, like you can just go with 49 first. Let's go with 34, 34 and 49. right? So this is how we set up the grid for our wireframe, and then we start making it, right? Any doubt till this point to anyone?
No.
No, the simple training things, right? No rocket science. So yeah, let's. I think let's. So we will break off for the day, and then we meet back on the next session. So so propose like the estimated is like Wednesday we'll be meeting at in the evening, and we'll be taking from there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, any other questions? Like we have 4 minutes left till 1:30. So if any questions are there, you can ask.
Nothing for our time.
Cool. So yeah, thank you everyone for giving the time, and yeah, I wish you a happy Teachers Day to all of you.
Thank you.
Happy Teachers Day, sir.
Yeah, all of you have to submit the assignment. So we have already started with a problem statement. No, we have selected your problem statement, and then you always supposed to progress with that project, so that we could have a submission and could have a review session on the projects. Like because it does not make sense if you just learn it and then don't apply it. So we'll be having a review session of the projects as well.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay then. Uh, have a good day and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, sir. We will get the link for the day, means Wednesday, as you are planning.
Yeah. Like whenever you are joining back for the session, the link will be same. This link will be there. So if you want to save this link, you can save it. This will be the same link that I'll be sharing. This is not the different link that I've created.
Okay, sir.
This is the same link that we have been using for the first session.
Okay, sir.
You can use it the same.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Adit. Your sessions are always valuable. And I do appreciate that.
Thanks for it.